Every day, you do many things. Some of them are good, some are not. Some make you proud, others make you feel bad. But most of these things are not choices. They are habits. You don't think about them. You just do them, like brushing your teeth, checking your phone, drinking coffee, skipping the gym, eating snacks late at night. Have you ever asked yourself, why do I do this every day? That is a powerful question. Because behind your daily actions, there is something bigger. Something quiet, but very strong. It is the force of habit. Habits are not just small actions, they shape your whole life. Charles Duhigg, the author of The Power of Habit, explains that habits follow a simple pattern. It is called the habit loop. This loop has 3 steps. First, there is a cue. This is the trigger, something that tells your brain to start a behavior. It could be a time, a place, a feeling, or even a smell. Second, there is the routine. This is the action you do, like eating, walking, checking your phone. Third, there is the reward. This is the feeling your brain likes, maybe comfort, pleasure, or excitement. Let's look at an example. Sarah eats chocolate every day at 4 p.m. Why? At that time, she feels bored or tired. That's the cue. Her routine is to go to the fridge, open it, and eat chocolate. The reward is the sweet taste and the happy feeling. Her brain learns this loop. So the next day, at the same time, her brain says, "Where's my chocolate?" It becomes a habit. She does it again and again. Not because she chooses it, but because her brain expects it. Habits work the same way for almost everything. Checking your phone, smoking, skipping work, or even saying negative things to yourself. These are not always choices. They are loops that your brain repeats. But there is something even deeper inside this loop. It is called craving. Craving is the real power behind habits. Craving is the feeling your brain has before you even start the habit. It is the emotion that pushes you. When you crave something, you feel a little restless. Your body and mind want relief. You want that good feeling. For example, maybe you think you love chocolate. But actually, what you crave is the peace, the comfort, or the escape that chocolate gives you. The same thing happens with social media. When your phone buzzes, your brain feels excited. You open the app, you see a like, a message, a video. That is your reward, but the real thing you crave is not the phone. It's the feeling of being seen, loved, or connected. Many companies understand craving very well. Toothpaste didn't always have mint or foam. But companies added minty freshness because it gives your brain a signal. Now my mouth feels clean. Without that feeling, you might not feel satisfied. This is not just about teeth. It's about how your brain builds habits based on craving. So, how can you take control of this? The first step is awareness. You need to pause and ask yourself, what am I really craving right now? Sometimes you're not craving food, you're craving comfort. Sometimes you don't want to scroll your phone, you want to escape a hard feeling. When you name the craving, it becomes weaker. You see it clearly, you take back your power. This is an important truth. Most people never stop to ask these questions. They live on autopilot. They repeat the same habits every day, sometimes for years. And then they wonder why nothing changes. But the answer is simple. To change your life, you need to change your habits. To change your habits, you need to understand the loop. And to change the loop, you must understand your craving. If you can see the pattern, cue, routine, reward, then you can start to change it. You don't have to stop the habit completely. You just replace the routine. You keep the same cue and the same reward. For example, when Sarah feels bored at 4 p.m., instead of eating chocolate, she can take a walk, drink tea, or call a friend. The cue stays the same, the reward, feeling better, stays the same. But the routine changes. This is the beginning of transformation. You don't need to be stronger. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be aware. You need to be curious. You need to experiment. If you are learning English, this story helps you in another way too. You are learning simple, emotional words. You are listening to real messages. You are understanding English through something that matters to you. That makes the words stay in your mind longer. That makes the experience meaningful. So, the next time you do something without thinking, stop and notice, what is your cue? What is your craving? What is your routine? And what is the reward? This is how change begins, not with big goals, but with small awareness, with simple choices. With one habit, understood and gently changed. Now you are ready to go deeper. Let's move to part 2, where we learn how to rewrite the loop and build a better life, one habit at a time. In part 1, we learned that habits follow a simple loop. There is a cue, a routine, and a reward. This loop becomes stronger every time you repeat it. But now you might ask, how do I change a bad habit? How can I stop doing what hurts me? The answer is not to fight the habit with more willpower. The answer is to change the routine while keeping the same cue and the same reward. This is the golden rule of habit change. Let's understand this with a real story from the book. There was a man named Bill Wilson. He had a serious drinking problem. Every day after work, he went to a bar. He drank too much. He knew it was hurting his health, his job, and his relationships. He tried to stop many times, but he always went back. Why? Because the cue never changed. He still felt stress after work. His brain still wanted the reward, to feel calm and relaxed. So, the loop stayed the same. One day, Bill made a new decision. When he felt stressed, instead of going to the bar, he called a friend. They talked, they laughed, he felt less alone. He still felt the reward, peace and connection, but he got it in a better way. That small change saved his life. Later, Bill helped create a group called Alcoholics Anonymous. It helps people around the world change their routines and build new lives. This shows us something powerful. You don't need to erase your habit. You need to rewire it. Your brain will still feel the cue. Your brain will still want the reward. But now, you choose a different action in the middle, a new routine. This is something you can practice with any habit. Let's say you always check your phone when you feel bored. The cue is boredom, the routine is scrolling. The reward is entertainment or distraction. You can change this loop. When you feel bored, try writing a short note, doing 5 push-ups, drinking water, or talking to someone near you. The reward stays the same, you feel better, but the routine becomes healthier. This works for emotional habits too. If you often say negative things to yourself when you feel sad, that is a habit loop. The cue is sadness, the routine is self-criticism. The reward might be a strange sense of control. But what if, instead, you paused and said one kind word to yourself? Or you wrote down one thing you were thankful for? Slowly, your mind can learn a new way to feel strong. Now, let's talk about something called a keystone habit. This is a special kind of habit. It is powerful because it creates change in many areas of your life. When you change one keystone habit, other good habits follow naturally. One small change becomes a chain of changes. There is a story in the book about a woman named Lisa. Her life was very difficult. She was overweight, she smoked, she was always in debt, and she often quit her jobs. One day, after a painful breakup, she made one choice. She decided to quit smoking. That was her only goal. But something amazing happened. After quitting, she started running. She began waking up earlier, she saved money. She applied for a better job, she moved to a new city. All this started from one decision. Why did one habit change everything? Because keystone habits shape your identity. When you keep a promise to yourself, your brain says, I'm the kind of person who takes care of myself. That belief grows. You begin to see yourself in a new way. You stop saying, I'm lazy, and you start saying, I'm improving. This new identity leads to more good actions. Let's look at examples of keystone habits you can start today. One is exercise. When people start exercising, even just walking 15 minutes a day, they also eat better, sleep better, and feel more confident. Another is writing a gratitude list. When you write down 3 things you are thankful for every night, your mind becomes more positive. Another keystone habit is making your bed each morning. It sounds small, but it gives you a feeling of control and success at the start of your day. When you pick a keystone habit, make sure it is simple, meaningful, and repeatable. Don't choose something too big. Start small, repeat it daily, give it time to grow. Let it build your new identity. Remember, real change doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from being smarter. You don't need to fight your old habits. You need to guide them into a new direction. Like a river, you don't block the flow. You dig a new path. With practice, your brain will follow. If you are learning English, you can also build English habits this way. Choose one small thing. Listen to one short English story each day. Write one sentence about your day, or learn one new word and use it in a sentence. Let this small habit grow. Over time, you will build confidence, and English will become a part of who you are. Change is possible for anyone, but it starts with one new routine, one habit, one decision, and a belief that you can become someone new. In Part 3, we will explore how your environment, your willpower, and your small victories shape your habits even more. You will learn how to build a life that supports the person you want to become. In the first 2 parts, we learned how habits are created and how we can change them by understanding the habit loop. We also learned that changing just one habit can lead to many other changes. Now, we will explore something deeper, how habits can shape your identity, and how you can become the best version of yourself by building small, powerful habits. Let's begin with a true story from the book. Her name is Lisa. At one point in her life, Lisa was struggling. She was overweight, depressed, smoking a pack of cigarettes every day, and had no stable job. She felt lost and stuck, but after a painful breakup, she made a decision. She didn't try to change everything. She chose just one habit to start with. She would stop smoking, that was it. But something amazing happened. After quitting smoking, Lisa started running. Then she began waking up earlier. She saved money. She changed how she ate. She even found a better job. In less than a year, her life was completely different. She became a new person. How did this happen? It wasn't magic. It was identity. When Lisa stopped smoking, she began to believe something new about herself. She was no longer the person who gave up. She started to see herself as someone strong, someone disciplined, someone who could grow. That belief changed how she behaved in many other areas. Her new identity gave her power to continue. This shows us an important truth. Habits are not just things you do. Habits become who you are. If you write every day, you become a writer. If you run every day, you become a runner. If you study English every day, you become a language learner. You don't wait until you feel confident. You do the habit, and your brain learns, this is who I am. Now, let's talk about willpower. Many people believe that some people are just strong and others are not. But that's not true. Willpower is not a gift, it is a skill. And like any skill, it can be trained. Charles Duhigg tells a story about a group of people who were asked to resist cookies and eat only vegetables. Later, when they had to solve a hard puzzle, they gave up quickly. Why? Because their willpower was tired. This shows us that willpower is like a muscle. When you use it a lot, it gets tired. But if you train it little by little, it becomes stronger. The way to build willpower is to make small promises to yourself and keep them. For example, make your bed every morning. Drink a glass of water before checking your phone. Write one sentence in your notebook each night. Go for a 5-minute walk. These actions may seem small, but they are powerful. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, your willpower grows. Another thing that helps you build strong habits is your environment. Most people think they fail because they are lazy or weak. But often, the real reason is their surroundings. If your phone is next to your bed, you will check it. If junk food is in the kitchen, you will eat it. But if your running shoes are by the door, you will walk. If your journal is on your pillow, you will write. There's a story from a hospital where many doctors didn't wash their hands. Posters and reminders didn't help. But when someone moved the soap closer to the beds and made it easier to reach, the number of hand washes went up quickly. It wasn't about willpower, it was about making the right action easy. This is the lesson. Don't only try to change your mind. Change your space. Make good habits easy. Make bad habits harder. This will help you act in a better way, without needing to fight so much. Let's also talk about small wins. People often think they need big success to feel happy. But in fact, small wins are the true secret. When you do something small but positive, you feel in control. You feel progress that creates motivation to do more. One small action leads to another, and soon, you are moving forward. A great example comes from a company called Alcoa. When Paul O'Neill became CEO, he didn't talk about profits. He talked about safety. Everyone was surprised. But by focusing on safety, the company improved communication, reduced mistakes, and became more successful. Small wins built a better system. You can do the same in your life. Start by doing one small thing well. Make your bed, drink water, say thank you. Study one English word a day. These wins change how you feel about yourself. You begin to think, I can do this, I am someone who improves. But there's one more important truth. You must take responsibility. You are not your past, you are not your mistakes. But you are responsible for what you choose next. There is a woman in the book named Angie Bogman. She became addicted to gambling. She lost everything. She blamed the casino. And yes, the system was unfair, but at some point, she had to choose to stop. She had to say, this is my life. I'm in control, and so must you. No one else can change your habits. No one can live your life. Your brain will repeat whatever you do, so why not teach it something better? Choose one good habit, make it part of your day. Do it again and again. One day, you will look back and say, that small step changed everything. You are not weak, you are not broken, you are becoming. And it all begins with one habit. Now, let's take a moment to look back at the full journey we just walked together. We learned about habits, what they are, how they control us, and most importantly, how we can change them. We met people like Sarah, who ate chocolate every day without understanding why. But once she learned about cues, routines, and rewards, she started to make better choices. We met Bill Wilson, a man who struggled with alcohol, but changed his life by replacing his routine with something healthy, a simple phone call. From that, he created a support group that helped millions of people. Then, we saw Lisa, a woman who didn't try to change her whole life. She only quit smoking, but that one habit started a chain reaction. She began exercising, saving money, getting a better job, and building a new life. All because she started with just one small change. We also heard about Angie Bogman, who made poor choices and lost control of her life. But her story reminds us, no matter how far we fall, we must take responsibility if we want to rise again. Each of these stories shows us one big truth. Your habits create your identity. You don't become a new person overnight. You become better through small steps, one good habit at a time. One promise kept, one action repeated, every time you show up, even when you're tired or afraid, you're writing a new story. So, what is the deep lesson here? It is this: change is possible for anyone, at any time. But it does not come from big dreams or strong motivation. It comes from understanding how your brain works and using that knowledge to build better habits. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start with something small, make it daily, make it easy. Let that habit shape who you become. Now, how can you apply this lesson to your own life? Pick one habit, just one. Maybe it's studying English for 5 minutes every morning. Maybe it's drinking water before checking your phone. Maybe it's writing one good thing about your day every night. Choose it, repeat it, let it build your confidence. Over time, you will become someone new, someone stronger, someone wiser, someone in control. And now, I want to say this to you, congratulations. You just listened to and understood a full English story. You improved your listening skills, your vocabulary, and your understanding of how habits work, all in one journey. That is something to be proud of. You're not just learning English. You're building a better life through English. Here's a quick quiz for you to test your understanding. What is the most important part of changing a habit? A. Using more willpower to stop it. B. Replacing the routine but keeping the same cue and reward. Comment your answer below, A or B, in the comments. Let us know you're here and growing with us. And if you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to the channel to support our work. We want to continue making these simple, powerful English learning videos for you. In the beginning, it's hard. We spend many hours writing, recording, and editing, all for free, just to help you learn English and improve your life. If you believe in our mission and want to support us, consider donating to help us keep going. Even a small gift makes a big difference. Together, we can build a community of learning, growth, and kindness. Thank you for being here. And remember, your next chapter begins with just one small habit. Keep going, we're with you.